Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the FireStorm podcast. We're not doing an album or an anime review. Holy shit.
Man, who are we?
Where are we? We're I don't know. This is weird land called just a regular podcast. And it's very rare we do these, but we're here. We're doing one. I can't believe it. It's been a little bit of a tradition the past couple years where the week before WrestleMania we give our predictions, and it felt good doing it last year because obviously we went to WrestleMania last year, so it was kind of it felt right to keep that going. This year, unfortunately, we're not. We're in our own countries, and you don't want to go back to Vegas, and I can't afford it. No, instead, we're just back to giving our regular old thoughts on WrestleMania this time around. And are you back? You disappeared.
Yeah, I disconnected from my VPN.
Oh, okay.
and it went insane. Yeah.
Okay, good.
We're good now.
All right, I'll keep going.
Yes.
Yeah, we are just going to give our thoughts and predictions on the matches, and we just watched the second to last SmackDown before
penultimate SmackDown.
Yes,
literally just finished.
Yes, and it was very handy because they gave us the full cards for both shows.
Both nights, yeah. Bar
probably one match that we think is going to be added, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
We should just include it.
Yes.
As part of it.
So what we're going to do is we'll go one at a time since they're all here. I'll read out the matches in the order they're on in Wikipedia. We'll give our thoughts and we'll talk about some wrestling.
I'm actually quite looking forward to Mania because last year, we did one of these last year because we were going I was still kind of out of the whole wrestling thing at that point, and we were going to Mania 40. So and that's what kind of brought me back into it. I've got the at the time I got a Peacock subscription and everything, but now that it's on Netflix, it's way easier to access everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually really the build. I think I don't want to say the build has been amazing, but it has a lot of it I think has been pretty good, and it I want to see most, if not all, of the matches that are on the card this year. So even if it's just out of I think it's just going to be a good match, and I don't necessarily care for the build. But even just on the fact that it sounds like a good match, I'm ready for it.
No, because that was the other thing. This is the first time in a while where you've been engaged with WWE for most of the year. So
yes, and I pick up on a lot of stuff as well because I don't watch a lot of wrestling content too much, but wrestling is also me getting back into it has been really nice because it's one of those it's one of the very rare things now that I just watch purely for fun and sometimes don't necessarily give my full attention to, because a lot of the anime I watch now I even end up reviewing at some point, so I have to write notes down and stuff because I still enjoy that, but for wrestling I pretty much never talk about it unless I'm tweeting something stupid on Twitter, so I just watch it purely for fun and just leave it on in the background while I work or whatever. So it's been really cathartic for me just to have maybe not cathartic's not the right word, but it's been really nice because just to have something to watch just out of pure enjoyment that I don't, there's no pressure for me by myself or, given to me by myself or anybody else to think anything or review it or anything. It's just been nice. So yeah, I'm excited about this.
No, that's awesome. Well, you've probably watched a lot more wrestling than even compared to me. I've been able to watch it as well, way more consistently thanks to the Netflix move as well. I've been able to at least watch most of Raw while at work. It's just I just have it playing while I'm doing stuff. Smackdowns are a bit harder because they're Saturday mornings for me, and usually we either record or I'm doing something else. So it's been a bit inconsistent, but I have still kept up to date with mostly everything. And I'm keen to watch it as well.
Yeah, totally. I totally forgot. My point was that I don't want to watch a lot of extra wrestling content. Like I still watch but my point was when I wake up every morning, there's pretty much every single day a new Cultaholic news video. So I end up watching those while I get ready to go to work. So I end up taking in a lot of like extra information because I'm not like usually I'm not listening 100%, but I'll pick up on stuff, especially if it's something that intrigues me. So, but yeah, I just play them for noise when I wake up every morning.
Yeah,
and so I've managed to stay very up to date on everything.
Sweetness. That's awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, we both are into it. We both got some thoughts on the matches that are currently scheduled, and at the very least, I think we're gonna watch both nights. I think I'm gonna be a bit late to watching night one. We're probably gonna watch night one individually with mates, and then night two together. And yeah, we don't really do anything afterwards. We just give our predictions for Mania, but. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah.
I guess it depends on what happens.
Yeah, I know.
Totally correct.
All right, let's get into it. So, night one, WrestleMania Saturday for WrestleMania 41. I'm going to switch the match.
I have them. Now, there is a match I think that is going to kick off WrestleMania this year, so let's start with that one.
Yes, right? It's in a different order on Wikipedia, but I agree. So, singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther defending the title against main event Jey Uso. So
yeah, this one's pretty cut and dry, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So, well, it kind of depends. So yeah, we know for 100% what's main eventing, and I think you mentioned something earlier when we were watching SmackDown about the opening for each show, and I think you're right. Yeah. I think because Royal Rumble winner, and like even though both Royal Rumble winners are on night one. I think getting the crowd, like as soon as like the big pop for the show open, the music's playing, everyone's like, "Welcome to WrestleMania," and then it goes, "Uso," and then Jey makes his entrance, and it takes 20 minutes. Could definitely see that happening. So, cut and dry. It kind of depends. What do you reckon? What do you reckon's happening?
What are your thoughts? Because I thought, like, I think it was more. Well, it was never really up in the air for me because for a few weeks now they've been setting up this story where like Jey is in his own head, right? Like he's kind of like really overthinking everything, and like, oh man, I'm like he mentioned like in his most recent promo, right? Like he was afraid of Gunther. And that was always meant to resolve by something or other happening where he overcomes that doubt or that fear or whatever, and he ends up winning. That's it seems like very cut and dry. Like that was always going to happen. And but it didn't really have a lot of fire behind it, the feud. But then when they did the segment with Jimmy Uso being murdered, that single-handedly revived the feud for me. It was a really, really good segment. Like Gunther slathered Jimmy Uso's blood on his own face. It was disgusting. It was really, really good. But after killing Jimmy Uso like that, there's no way Jey Uso doesn't win. They've painted Gunther so obviously to be like the villain, like a massive over the top villain, in a different way than another man who we'll talk about at the very end. But Gunther is like a very obvious over the top villain here. I think Jey Uso just has to win here, even if he doesn't hold the title for very long, which I don't think he will, because whoever it is that takes it from him, like Jey is not someone you can really keep the championship on long term. I don't think he's not gonna have like main event quality matches every single time, right? But for a feel good moment at WrestleMania, just give it to him. He deserves it. Yeah, look,
I've been going back and forth because I also kind of fell into the camp of like, fuck man, like, is Jey Uso really just the hype, or like, can he go? Because there was a while there when I was also in the mindset of like, he can wrestle, but like he is very plain in a lot of situations. I'm kind of like, I'm not interested. And the whole yeast thing is kind of gotten old, and it still sells. And like, him winning the Rumble, like I know that has led to a lot of other things for like the other people in that final mix. So it has worked out, but it took that angle with Jimmy getting destroyed by Gunther for me to get reinvigorated with the story as well. So I can see it going either way, because I also think back to last year when Gunther had this incredible Intercontinental title reign, and it took Sami Zayn everything to beat him. And I kind of look at Sami and Jey, and I compare them in my head. I'm like, Sami's league's better, but I think for the feel good moment, for like the WrestleMania, like the Royal Rumble winner winning, and all the merch and all the fucking like support in the world, and like, you're right, short title reign from Jey, I reckon that's the way to do it. Like, give him the win, let the twin let one of the twins actually excel in a singles position, do something massive, like win a world title, like defy that expectation that was been locked with you for years, and go on. So I think Jey will win, but I honestly wouldn't mind if Gunther retained either. But I think Jey,
no.
Yeah, I think Jey's
I mean,
gonna win.
I totally agree that Gunther is. Should Jey win, which again I think he will, I would bet money that Gunther will be champion again before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think like he's just such like Gunther is just such a good champion. Like he's that guy that like such a good character to be like as like the wall that seems impossible to overcome, which I think is so like really good for a lot of baby faces, especially like baby faces on the rise. Like I'd love to see at some point, because he is a baby face right now, I'd love to see AJ Styles and Gunther have a match. Stuff like that. Because
this is the second year in a row they've done Gunther with the massive title reign, like being a fucking king, shit, killing everyone, and then it takes someone pulling out all the stops to beat him. Like they've done this 2 years in a row because it works really well. Gunther is a beast.
Yes, he's a really, really good champion. So I think he will be champion by the end of the year. And this might come a little bit later, but I don't know. Actually, I don't think they're doing it this year. But I was going to say one of the matches I really wanted to see, at least before Big John's Elimination Chamber moment, I really wanted to see Gunther and John Cena have a big match. And I was going to say that like if Gunther was champion again and John was too, then they could do the crown jewel thing where they did the champion versus champion thing. As an excuse to do it. But I don't think they're having crown jewel this year. So
okay.
Yeah, I think I think I don't remember exactly, but I remember hearing something about how it's because the Royal Rumble next year is in Saudi Arabia. So they're doing like maybe there's only one Saudi Arabia pay-per-view this year or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I do still hope somehow, some way or another, we get to see John and Gunther have a match, because I think that'd be great.
I could definitely see that. That would be. That's actually
my thought.
I mean, that actually is really good. The crown jewel champion versus champion thing. Well, that would actually be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Cool. Next up, so the rest of the card, we don't know what order it's going to be. I'm just going to read it as it is on Wikipedia. Singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. Tiffany Stratton defending against Charlotte Flair. Woo.
Yay.
I actually read something like it's not often I agree with the IWC, because especially like getting a bit more involved with wrestling in and out, like in real life and online, like the IWC sucks a lot, big time. But I actually read one thing that I kind of agree with, is that whilst Charlotte is a tremendous wrestler, she, unlike all of the other horsewomen, has not evolved her character since she came up from NXT. She has been the Queen Charlotte Flair the entire time, and that is one of the multitude of reasons why people don't like her, is because she's stale. It's the same. She never puts anyone over. She never does anything good for other people. It honestly, even when she does lose, it always feels like she still has to have a come up moment where she's like, "Nah, I'm still the bitch." But so
the Charlotte Vortex.
It is the Charlotte Vortex, and the same thing has happened here, where I couldn't give less of a shit whether like half the stuff she's been saying with Tiffany is like a shoot or not, because people are saying they're shooting on each other and don't like each other. I couldn't care less. The thing I care about is that like Tiffany is over. She's done good at becoming a face again, although she did kind of talk like a heel to Roxanne on SmackDown today. She's done good to get herself over as a face. I think she should continue leading the charge with this new era, because as much as I'm sure they would love Charlotte to match Ric Flair's record, I really can't stand another Charlotte title reign right now. It's too soon as well. She's just returned, and she does have longevity. She can put on great matches. I want Tiffany to hold on to the belt a bit longer.
Good thing, yeah, it's definitely not a bad thing to just follow your gut, because my brain was thinking, and I think somebody else said this. It might have even been Simon Miller. I can't remember. Somebody I watched said something about this program, which I sort of agree with in concept, which was that Charlotte could win because she is as the heel, so she could win by like cheating or some other like nefarious means, and I think it's perfectly believable, because the whole like story of this has been like how Tiffany is inexperienced compared to Charlotte, or at least a big part of it. She's like Tiffany feels like super green and inexperienced, and Charlotte is like one of the most like tenured women on the roster. She's like got a ton of accolades. So Tiffany losing, I think, would actually almost have the Daniel Bryan effect, where it would put everybody even more behind her than they already are. And then they could do a more drawn out program where Tiffany eventually gets the belt back. Which I could see benefiting Tiffany Stratton in the long run. But also, just given how it has played out, because honestly, that promo they did in the ring, I didn't find to be nearly as hard to watch as the one they did split screen.
Yeah.
The split screen one hurt to watch for me, because it really felt like Charlotte went into business for herself, and it really like she had no reason to. Like, she was really just like rubbing it into Tiffany. It felt like just, shoot, whether it's shoot or otherwise, I don't really care, but it really felt like she was just rubbing it in to Tiffany, like how inexperienced she is. Like, oh, you can't even keep up with me on the mic. Like, I'm just gonna say things, talk over you, just say dumb shit that you won't be able to respond to because it's probably not in the script. So like that one really hurt, and it was like she shouldn't have done that either way. Like, I didn't really like that choice. And given how it has played out, Charlotte feels like, because again, that promo they did in the ring, it felt like it went off script. So it felt like Charlotte initiated that as well, causing Tiffany to fire back, right? So given how weird the build has been, I would like to see, like, my heart would be like, yeah, I want Tiffany to just beat Charlotte, cement her as a star, just be done with it. But also, I don't know where you go with Tiffany Stratton after WrestleMania if that's the case. So, like, I don't know who you have her face next. So she would just put Tiffany in a weird position, and it would kind of make Charlotte like pointless, So it just totally up in the air because I could see it going either way. My official prediction, just because of how the feud has been, like, you know, how she's gone kind of off the rails. I'm gonna say Tiffany for this one because I think had it gone according to plan, they would have given it to Charlotte. But now that Charlotte's kind of done some weird shit, I think they might backpedal and just give it to Tiffany.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Either way, Tiffany for this one.
Yeah, they definitely a lot of weird shit's happened with Charlotte. She came back, yes, and I think they wanted her to be a face, and everyone was like, no. So she was like, okay, fine, I'll be a heel, but I'm not happy about it. And then she and Tiff seemed like they got beef, so then she started shooting, and it's just like, okay, so you couldn't get over as a face. You're shooting for no reason. Like you're being like you're kind of interrupting things here, Charlotte. You're making it weird. So I think you're right. They've kind of seen all that and they're like, maybe not. Let's backpedal a bit. Yeah. All right. Singles match: Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Naomi doing shit with caution tape now. You better proceed with caution, she says. Honestly,
this is another one that has the same problem.
Yeah. Again, because
you've just turned Naomi heel.
Yeah, and Jade's just come back as well.
Yeah.
So you could go either way. And you were saying, like, what happens with Tiff afterwards if she retains? I feel like Naomi could be a good challenger. A good, like, freshly heel Naomi could be a good first challenger. Yeah.
But not if she loses. She would have to win here.
Yeah, I almost feel like you could get away with having Naomi win because Jade Cargill. I agree. Yeah, Jade Cargill has been wrestling, like, she's only been in since 2020. She's like 30 something at the minute. She's got a longer future ahead of her. Naomi's been in the game for a while. Well, not old by any regards. She's been in the game for a while, but I feel like with the heel turn, Naomi would benefit the most from winning, and
I agree.
Jade can easily build herself back up.
Yes. Well, I think there could be a dusty finish here. I think there could be something that goes wrong. Yes. Well, because they clearly have high expectations for Jade, and I totally see why. Because like the way she carries herself, she has the star qualities about her. She just probably needs to wrestle a little bit better, but that's okay because the only way you can wrestle better is by wrestling. So you're gonna have to put her in matches. But yeah, I think Naomi should win. Probably, ideally, in fact, just to protect Jade with a shenanigans finish. But preferably something creative that isn't just like the paint by numbers whatever finish. But yeah, I'm gonna, just because of that, I'm gonna say Naomi. I'm gonna go with Naomi for this one, just because I think you can even drag this feud out further beyond WrestleMania as well. So like, if eventually Jade should get like a statement win over Naomi, but just turning Naomi heel and then immediately having her lose again, it kind of puts her in a limbo, in a weird fucking awkward limbo that it just wouldn't do anything for her long term. No. So
also, fun fact, apparently this is the first non-title women's singles match at WrestleMania since 2006. And I looked up what that match was in 2006. Tori Wilson defeated Candice Michelle in a Playboy pillow fight match. Wow, we've come a long way. Jesus Christ. Indeed. So yeah, we both gone for Naomi on that one. Good stuff.
Yes.
Next up, tag team match for the World Tag Team Championship. Eric and Ivar of the War Raiders defending against Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day. I think with actually, I'll let you go first on this one. I've taken over most of these. I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. I mean, this one again feels pretty obvious to me. The War Raiders, they are very good, but they haven't been fantastic champions, and part of that I think is because the Raw tag team roster is absolutely minuscule. Like it feels like there's hardly any tag teams on Raw. The Creed brothers have been good. I have liked what the Creed brothers have done recently, but they don't quite feel tag team championship level. Whereas the New Day's heel turn was practically like, if it hadn't been followed like a few months later by John Cena's, it's like a really, really good heel turn, like one of the best of the past few years. A really good heel turn. And they haven't done much to capitalize on it, aside from like a few occasional victories by the New Day. I think they even lost once, which was weird. But again, I think after turning the New Day heel, they have to win. And ideally, this whole thing, they had I believe it was a title shot. They had a title shot on Raw this past Monday, and the finish happened when like Xavier Woods brought in a chair. It ended up somehow with one of the War Raiders, and the War Raiders hit him with the chair. The ref saw it, so they got disqualified. But the War Raiders retained the titles. So this being just a regular tag team match feels weird. I feel like it should have a no DQ stipulation or whatever attached to it. Just because of that angle alone. But yeah, the New Day have to win. Period. Like, yeah, if the New Day don't win, it's like, what the fuck? Why did we do that really, really good heel turn?
Yeah, I'm entirely in agreement, especially because, like, you're right, the War Raiders, since capturing the titles, haven't had a lot of opportunities to do anything with them. And after the heel turn, like, I watched the fucking heel turn on Big E like 4 times. Like, it was so good. And I feel like because even when they're not wrestling, like, most of the time they come out during like the ad breaks and they just talk shit, and they got the Dominik Mysterio heat. They just have that constant booing, like, fuck you guys for all your shit. And Xavier Woods coming out and calling kids ugly and shit is really funny. And I think like it's weirdly similar to Charlotte, where like Charlotte is looking to break her father's multiple time reign, whereas New Day are already like the top and cream of the crop. Like, they're already got the longest title reign in history for tag team titles. But I feel like with the heel turn, you could just give them the titles and they could just reign top of the world, king shitheads, holding the titles for as long as they want, and it has to be like another big tag team, a face tag team, to come take it from them. And also because, like, you don't want, as much as WrestleMania is like the season finale for a lot of wrestling, you can't always have all the faces win. And so far, we've had Tiffany and Jey winning. So I think you need a heel champion to win, like a heel to win the championship. This is probably the one to do it with. So, yeah, I'm in complete agreement. The New Day should win.
Yep.
Next up, singles match for the WWE United States Championship. LA Knight defending the title against Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, there are a few. You know what? A lot of these have been very cut and dry. So is this one. There are a few on here that are a little harder to predict. Although actually, now that I look at it, most of them are pretty easy. But there are especially 2 that I find particularly hard to predict. Spoiler alert, they're both triple threat matches. But Jacob Fatu. That's it. The end.
Yep. No, I agree.
He has to win.
It's his time. Like,
yep.
I think No, I think the whole reason they gave Knight the title back is because Shinsuke, like, this is like the fourth time they've tried to repackage Shinsuke and nothing has come from it, which sucks because he's really good. But also because I think they realized just how big Jacob Fatu was getting. And even though they could have put him against a heel, I think this is actually smart, playing him against another guy who is so over, but then using that to prove that Jacob is also equally as over, because he is getting there. He, like, every week, despite doing heelish shit, he is like the motherfucker. We just, like, at the ending of SmackDown, he hit 2 fucking moonsaults on LA Knight, and as the graphics faded away and they were about to cut the show, he's like, nah, let me do one more. He got one more in, and the crowd went fucking nuts. It was really good. I think this is it. Like, let Jacob take the title and turn him face. I think this is actually a very appropriate time. Like,
yes, well, he's definitely going to have, like, he's going to split from the bloodline at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like, completely split for the bloodline, and that'll be like a proper face turn for him. But I forgot my point. But yeah, I totally agree that, like, just, I guess part of what got him over is that he is so, like, I guess vicious. Like he doesn't give a fuck. You know, like, he just keeps attacking people, does whatever the hell he wants, and I think that's part of the reason why people like him so much. And he can't really work like that as well against when he's not a heel. So, well, he's not technically a heel when he's not being presented as a heel, but he is technically like, you know, based on the crowd reactions, he's pretty much a face. But yeah, like Jacob Fatu, once he gets a little bit better of just, like, having more, like, I guess he just needs a little bit more experience, but once he's destined for main event stardom, 100%. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a future main eventer, no doubt, and he just needs more experience under his belt. And I think him winning a mid-card title here, even though he's been around for less than a year at this point in the WWE, he just has it. Like, he just has that intangible thing that some wrestlers have that just connects. And he's so fucking talented too. Like, he's crazy in the ring. So yeah, it's his time.
It is his time, and, like, the only way I can see him even losing the title is in, like, a multi-man match where he's not involved in the finish. Like, he could carry the title
for later.
Yeah, he could carry that title for a long time. But yeah, fucking phenomenal stuff. Next up in a singles match is Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, which, this is weird. Whenever you click on El Grande Americano's Wikipedia, it takes you to Chad Gable for some reason. That is factually
That's
wrong.
Really fucked up.
That is, yeah, like, they're just ignoring the legacy of El Grande Americano. That's fucked up. I don't know why they're doing that. Yeah, it's 2 weeks
of legacy. Unbelievable.
No, but didn't you see the high package? You didn't see the AI high package from the Gulf of America. The AI high package from the Gulf of America.
Very triggering.
He's had a history for a lot. Even on Cage Match, he's Chad Gable is El Grande America. That motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about. Can't believe it.
That's crazy.
Why would they do this gimmick for under a month?
It's dumb and it's hilarious.
It's dumb and it's hilarious, but they're doing it for a month just to have a match at Mania. Like,
no. I think this is a lot. Like, I don't know where I heard this, but I heard it and I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what's going to happen. This is going to be a long-term program. I think. I think that. Okay, here's my prediction. El Grande Americano is going to win here. He's going to beat Rey Mysterio and cement himself as the legend of luchadorism that he is. You know, with so much luchador experience under his belt, there's no doubt he can beat Rey Mysterio. El Grande Americano is in his prime. He just understands the way of the luchador. Bro is cracked. But anyway, the point was that this is going to build to a mask versus mask match. at SummerSlam or something, where Rey Mysterio will win, and El Grande Americano will be unmasked. So I totally agree with that. I think that's going to happen. Yeah. Because like imagine whoever it is, his face when he gets unmasked, right? If he sells it like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to him, it would be hilarious and it will really land. So I think that's where they're going. I totally agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I think you sold me on that. Because I was literally going to be like, what was the point? They're just going to have Rey win and him get unmasked.
Are you kidding? Like, no. Rey Mysterio... Okay, I'm, cutting the bit. Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable on paper is a hell of a match.
Oh, no, it's a hell of a match. Don't get me wrong. It is a fucking hell of a match. Yeah. I just, like... I don't know. Just the purpose of the match being here to begin with is weird, but... Rey's offended
that El Grande Americano disrespected luchador culture or whatever, and he's pissed.
Yes. Okay. I'm sold on that idea because then, it gives Chad Gable / El Grande Americano a win at Mania. Yep. Something big that he probably has needed, and they can keep the storyline cooking. And even, I know they've been doing this for the past 3 years, like having Dominik involved with Rey's shit. Like he's fought Rey Mysterio 3 times at Mania. I feel like because Dominik was even kind of hinting at, like we need to bring more people into the Judgment Day. Not bringing El Grande Americano into the Judgment Day, just fucking with Rey Mysterio and helping El Grande Americano win, because Dominik's not doing anything. No, he's on night 2. Never mind.
What do you mean?
he's on night 2. I forgot that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Like they could even do something like that if they wanted. But I feel like give Chad something big at Mania, or not Chad. Just give him something big at Mania. Like I definitely vibe with that. Sure, I'm down.
It's gonna be a great match.
Yes, absolutely. And in the main event, it's a triple threat match. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman. Oh, interesting. Interesting.
You owe me a favor.
Shit.
This is great. I honestly, like, this is up there with the main event of night 2. Again, it only makes sense that those are the 2 matches I'm most hyped for. But you could have no build at all and throw these 3 into a match, and I would be like, oh, fuck, yeah. Oh, fuck, yes. Like, this... I don't even care. Like, even throwing away the build, which finally got lit a fire under its ass in the past week or so. I'm so down with this match. It's like one of my, I have a few matches that I go back to a lot. Like just for fun whenever I'm bored or whatever. The Cena, Lesnar, Rollins triple threat from 2015 is so good.
Yeah.
And so triple threats are, especially when they're booked right, can be just non-stop super good action, and these 3 have it in them. Especially because like the way triple threats work, like it divides the workload, right? Like instead of carrying half the match, now you're carrying a third of the match. So especially like, CM Punk still has great matches even though he is getting on a bit in age. But with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to work with at the same time, he's going to blend in like, he's going to so easily blend in because his work rate is still pretty damn good. So this match is going to be so fucking awesome, especially now that it's in the main event. As for calling it, it's such a toss-up because honestly, the least interesting winner is Roman Reigns. I think that is... whether or not he takes the pin is another matter, but Roman Reigns winning feels like it does nothing for the story.
Yeah.
But either of the other 2, I'm down with. I think if I had to pick one, I'm going with CM Punk. And the only reason I say that is because I think they're absolutely setting, or at least they should absolutely be setting up for rolling back John Cena versus CM Punk at somewhere later this year. Because I would like to see Seth and Cena have maybe, like, I'm not, but I would much rather see CM Punk and John Cena have another singles match if I had to pick one of these three. CM Punk is 100% the one I would go for. And I think the best way to position him for that down the line is to just have him win this match. Now, I don't know what happens with Paul Heyman. That's a bit of a toss-up for me. Because some people have said, like, oh, he could side with... He could... You know, he's in I guess, in some sense, he's betrayed Roman to side with Punk, but then during the match, he could betray Punk to side with Seth, which I feel like doesn't need to happen. I like Seth on his own.
Side with
I don't really
Seth?
think he needs...
Oh.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Interesting.
But that's what some people have, like, I've seen that being thrown around. I don't particularly like the idea, but especially after that promo segment on Raw, which I really liked, I wouldn't be fully against it, but I just really like Seth exactly as he's presented now, because he's, like, such a weird, like, he's so fucking weird. You know, like, because he comes out and is weird sometimes. He's, like, wearing the weirdest shit imaginable. It's always hilarious. I love his outfits. He's a weird
amalgamation of everything he was before, but then,
yeah, well, his outfits are the dumbest shit you've ever seen in your life. It's hilarious. And it's like, and, you know, even when he comes out and says his catchphrases, or he lets the crowd do the whoa, he does that for a gazillion years, I'm still down with it. Because like, Seth Rollins is probably one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. He's just so good. Like, he just understands where his character's at. He understands, like, he's such a good wrestler as well. I've always loved his style of wrestling. It's like the hybrid, mixing, like, strength with agility that he does so well. He's fantastic. So it's either Seth or Punk for me winning this match, but I have to go with CM Punk.
Yeah, you know what? I honestly, like, I'm in complete agreement. Like, I feel like we're all kind of, like, we agree on all the matches so far, because I think the way to run back Punk and Cena is Punk winning. The spanner of Paul Heyman does put things into contention of, like, because my thought was just like, oh yeah, he helps out Punk, but then betrays him to help Roman win. But then you're going back. They've already done a Paul Heyman CM Punk feud in 2013 and it wasn't too hot. But if there's one way for CM Punk to be like, oi, like, after that fucking heated promo after Elimination Chamber where he fucking called out Cena and The Rock, like, if there's any way to capitalize on that and roll back him and Cena, it's to be like, hey, I won night one at Mania, you won night two. I want to fucking fight you. So yeah, then whatever happens with Paul, whether you keep him with Roman or you just keep him with Punk, I don't know. I think Roman could do, like, even though the bloodline is still just a thing now in the background, he's the OTC, you could give him a fresh coat of paint by dividing him and Paul and just having Roman by himself. You could very well do that. Seth Rollins, as much of an MVP he is, I don't think he needs to win. I don't think he needs anything. I think he's pretty well cemented in history. I think give Punk
all of these guys are. So
absolutely. But, like, this is Punk's first main event. I think he could do with the win. Even if he never main events another Mania, at least he has that one under his belt. And yeah, I completely agree with everything you said about the triple threat and how it divides the load, because I was going to make the same point. Even though Punk's getting on in age, when he in a multi-man situation, he can excel. Like, the fucking War Games was fucking sick, and, like, the Rumble, he does good shit where he's not hurt. Like, he did good with Drew McIntyre in the fucking Hell in a Cell, but I think because they had enough time in between spots to recover, he was able to come out on top in that. Mm-hmm. So I think a triple threat, I reckon this is going to kill, and I think Punk should come out on top. Yeah, it's going to be stupid. It's going to be fun.
I think honestly, I think just because of Paul Heyman, I think Roman takes the pin, which is weird. You know, imagine Roman Reigns taking 2 pins in a row, two WrestleManias back to back. Crazy. But I would honestly, at some point, also like to see CM Punk and Roman Reigns one-on-one. I think that would be a great match as well. And CM Punk definitely has longer. He'll go longer than Big John. So, like, you know, John's going at the end of this year, but CM Punk's got at least another year or 2 left in him, I think. So I would like to see CM Punk and Roman one-on-one at some point. So I think Punk pinning Roman makes the most sense. Because also Seth has lost so many times, and not that him eating the pin would really hurt him that much, but CM Punk and Seth Rollins have had so many matches recently that I just don't think it's interesting if CM Punk just pins Seth Rollins. He already did that at the Raw debut anyway, so I just don't think there's any interest behind that if they do that. So that's my thought. But yeah, this one's tough because I really do think Seth could win and come out of nowhere. It feels like there's just something about, like, you know, because Seth, he is the glue that's holding this together, right? Because like CM Punk and Roman Reigns do have like reason enough to sort of want to fight each other, but Seth, he just feels like, not only in terms of like when the wrestling comes around, but also in the storyline, he just feels like he's kind of somewhere in between the like extremes of Roman Reigns and CM Punk, which is really good. It's a really good dynamic, but I think he's also going to hold together this match, and it's going to be a banger. So.
Yep. Sweetness. All right. Night 2 of WrestleMania 41. There are 7 matches that like fixed on night 1, 6 matches fixed on night 2. Whilst we don't know where it's going to be on the card, we are in firm belief. I think it's pretty much well renowned at this point that everyone would believe this, especially after the events of the penultimate SmackDown. And Kevin Owens being out with a pending neck surgery. Hopefully you recover well, Kevin. If all the reports,
I know you're watching, Kevin.
You're watching, Kevin. All the reports of him potentially being out for like 2 to 5 years or something sucks. So hopefully he recovers all right. We believe Randy Orton. He's going to be put on the card. Whether like. It's most likely going to be against Nick Aldis. The way they're setting it up. They could set something else up with another wrestler, whether like...
Solo it could be on the cards, which would suck.
That would suck. But I also feel like if Aldis isn't cleared, which I don't know why he wouldn't be, I don't know about his history. So it could either be against Nick Aldis himself... Give that guy a WrestleMania match. That would be sick because like NWA World Champion, fucking like sick legendary wrestler. But if he isn't cleared for whatever reason, he could choose someone to fight Randy on his behalf. Don't know. We'll see what happens on next week's SmackDown. We won't know, but yeah, we feel like Randy.
We're assuming it's going forward.
Yes, we're assuming it will happen. I would assume as well Randy goes over.
Yeah, but I think no matter who Randy faces... Okay, unless it's a surprise. If Randy Orton is billed on the card against somebody, he's winning. If it's a surprise opponent, he's losing.
I feel like this is almost where you could bring back someone like Aleister Black. Like, yes. Nick Aldis is like, I've been teasing this return for a few weeks now. I feel like this is the proper time.
Yeah. Just make it early, yeah. Because I think that would be cool, especially because there were reports. I remember this. This was one of the things I picked up just listening to the news. Triple H is obviously a huge fan of Aleister Black. Even if you look back on Aleister Black's days in NXT, he was pushed like crazy. And Triple H, I believe, according to that report, whoever it was from, still would see Aleister Black as like a main event level single star. So putting him over Randy Orton immediately, that's a big statement.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people would love to see him back. Even if it would be babyface versus babyface, I do think it would be a pretty cool match. So if it is a surprise, and it's because I don't think you could do Rusev, I think this would be Aleister Black. Time to come back, because if it's not Aleister Black, then I think Rusev is debuting on the Raw after WrestleMania, or returning on the Raw after WrestleMania, and Aleister Black would come back on the SmackDown after WrestleMania. But if Nick Aldis can't wrestle, just give him Aleister Black. And if we know Randy Orton's opponent, whether it's Solo or whether it's Nick Aldis or whatever, Randy's going over. If we don't know the opponent before WrestleMania, then whoever that Randy's not going over. That's my prediction.
Yeah, agreed. I'd be fine with if it was either Aldis or Aleister. I think Aleister would be that would be fun. That would be so good. That would be
fun.
So yeah. But for the official card, I think the order it's in on Wikipedia is pretty accurate. So I think so the opening, I believe this should be it. Triple threat for the women's world.
The card. 100%.
Yes, for the women's world championship, Io Sky defending the title against Bianca Belair and against Rhea Ripley. Now
remember what I said about dividing the workload, where CM Punk's kind of getting on a bit. These are 3 women in their prime. This could absolutely steal the show.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a fantastic match. Now this is, I think, the hardest to predict on the whole card. I legitimately, I honestly, like, I know who I think I'm going to pick for the rest of these. I have no idea who to pick for this one. I have no clue.
I want to go with my gut. Because I feel like the whole thing of the rivalry of like they're Bianca and Rhea in each other's face discounting Io.
Yes.
I feel like that's going to bite them. I think Io will retain. Because if you look at the previous matches from night 1, like we have a face retaining, a face winning the title, we have heels winning a title, and we have a heel winning a title to turn face. We haven't had any retentions. I think Io should retain and be like, you fuckers discounted me, sucked in.
Yes.
Like that's
my thought as well.
I'm the champ. And then because then you could even have like Bianca or Rhea be the reason the other one loses, and then they keep a rivalry going in the singles. They could just have a rivalry by themselves. Like, I think they were leaning towards something like that anyway. And then then Io captured the title because of Bianca getting in fucking Rhea Ripley's face. So I think Bianca and Rhea could have a singles feud going forward. Io keeps the title. And because then, yes, you have 2 face champs at that point of time. But I feel like there's enough. You could build up plenty of heels in either roster to challenge. So I can see Bianca or Rhea winning because they are like all 3 of these women are over. But I would just love it if Io Sky kept it going, especially after last year as well when she lost. Like,
well, she was a heel at that time. Yeah.
Yes.
So. I have to believe if I had to pick one, it has to be Io, because exactly what you mentioned, the story of, because it's been really, really drilled home. They've done in at least a few separate segments now where just Bianca and Rhea are in each other's faces, practically ignoring the champion. So I have to believe that Io Sky is going to be like, put some damn respect on my name and just retain. Even at the, because like you said, there could be a moment where Bianca and Rhea are in each other's faces, and Io takes advantage of that to retain. I think that very much happened in. And here's another triple threat banger. That's pretty much what happened in Gunther, Sheamus, McIntyre from a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So this this is going to be really, really good. It is going to be a great way to kick off the second night. Just gonna be super fast paced action. I think it's gonna be really, really good. One theory I have seen thrown around. It's also, just before I get to that, it is crazy that these two huge high profile triple threat matches are three baby faces against each other.
Yeah,
but yeah, I've seen thrown around that Bianca could turn heel, and like kind of join Naomi, and sort of not to be against Jade, right? But at least then there would be some heat coming out of WrestleMania, and Io would have an immediate opponent. So that would sort of be like the thing they did with Shinsuke way back in the day when he won the Rumble and had that kind of underwhelming match with AJ Styles. I think they could do something similar there. Unfortunately, Io Sky has no balls to punch, but that's okay. So that's it. Yeah, I think that could happen. Because if Io Sky retains, again, kind of like Tiffany, I just don't know where you go after that. And not like she needs a program immediately after WrestleMania, but it would be nice to keep some heat on that title. Because if she does beat, I guess it could be like whichever she doesn't pin could have like a reason to come back after the title, but it would be tough, because I think Io has really gotten over in the last few months or so, and I think it would be a tough ask to turn Rhea Ripley heel at this point in her career. But I think it's been a while. It's been long enough since Bianca. I don't even know the last time Bianca's been heel. I think there would be a lot of intrigue behind it if they did do that.
I always thought Bianca would excel as a heel. Like she's got that swagger about her which would benefit from being a heel as well. Like she can do either, really. Yeah. Like if she wanted. And the other thing, like, as well, the past few WrestleManias, like, Bianca and Rhea have had their moments in the spotlight. Like, they've kicked ass, they've won titles, they've stayed on top. Like, I think it was 39, Bianca defeated Asuka and retained her title. And last year, like, Bayley beat Io, and then Bianca, Jade, and Naomi beat Damage Control. So it's like, Io deserves something. I think giving her a win here would be fair. Like, the other two have had their Mania moments. Let Io have one of her own.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah, but you're right. It is a tough one. I think you're right. After the match, Bianca turns heel. I could see that working. Reunite with Naomi at some point. That could work as well. Next up, singles match. AJ Styles versus Japan's favorite son, Logan Paul.
Going back to the forest.
Yeah.
AJ Styles has to win. Here's the thing. This is going to be a banger. Like, this is going to be a great match, I think. I do not like Logan Paul. I think he's a prick. I think he's the biggest asshole on planet Earth. My God, I cannot stand him. But he's really good at wrestling. And if there's anybody who's going to lead him to one of, if not the best match of his entire wrestling career, it is going to be AJ Styles. Especially at WrestleMania. But AJ has to win. Because Logan is not going to move down the card if AJ Styles wins. No. If AJ Styles loses to Logan Paul,
he will move down the card.
He will move down the card. So, like, it'll probably even more than we realize. It would damage AJ Styles' future in the WWE. Just let AJ win. Logan won last year at WrestleMania. He beat Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, for God's sake, last year at WrestleMania. he can take a clean loss to AJ Styles here.
He's had fucking not even 20 matches in the WWE, and all of them have been high profile. So
yes.
He's, to be fair to him as well, he hasn't won all of them. He lost a fair few of them. Like, he can deal with a loss and still be in the main event or like near the main event picture. Yep. Like, I completely agree. AJ Styles as well, like coming back, getting hurt, which fucking sucks, and then like having to come back again, and like, yeah, who knows how many years he's got left on him. I don't know if he wants to put over Logan. I don't think he should. I think Logan's got years in the game. AJ Styles doesn't. And whereas, like, you know, I completely agree. Logan wins. Okay, he's got another win. But AJ wins. No, I mean, AJ loses. And yeah, what the fuck? He's almost a joke. And he's not a joke. He's fucking AJ Styles. And fucking Logan's lost at Mania before. Like, I've just quickly checked his cage match. Like, he and Miz won in a tag match at 38. 39, Seth Rollins beat him. So he can lose. He's lost at Mania before. And then, like you said, 40, he won a triple threat to retain the US title. So, like, it's happened. He can lose. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, AJ Styles, please
please God, AJ Styles win. I want, like, he needs another, like, here's another thing I happened to see. He was on Chris Van Vliet. He was on a Chris Van Vliet interview semi recently, and he said he's not going to wrestle past 50, and he is turning 48 in 2 months.
Yeah.
So he's got at most 2 WrestleManias left in him after this one. So 43 in theory would be a good place for his last match. And I think he needs one more world title reign before then. I'd like to see it anyway. And there is no doubt, if anyone can keep putting on absolute fucking bangers until they're 50 years old, it's AJ Styles. So just give him, like, I want to see, like I said, there's so many more matches I think he can have in WWE before he retires. Like, as cool as I think it would be, I don't need to see AJ versus John Cena again. Doesn't need to happen. The Royal Rumble match peaked it anyway. Way back when. That's another one of my favorite matches of all time. Their Royal Rumble match back in 2017. Fucking fantastic. Like, AJ is one of the greatest of all time. Like, hands down. Like, the amount of stuff he's done in his career is insane. He's had so many fucking awesome matches. Even his, like, year plus WWE title reign was, I remember, being really good. Just give the man his flowers. Like, he's fantastic. He's one of the best of all time. Just let him beat fucking it's Logan Paul! Anyway. It's
Logan Paul. Beat the shit out of Logan Paul, please.
My God.
Yep. Tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. We have the Judgement Day. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defending their championships against Bayley and the current WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria. As much as I love what Bayley and Lyra are doing, I don't think double champ Lyra really needs to be a thing. I think the Judgment Day can just hold on to it. They can it can keep leading to the Judgment Day split. That I think that because they've been teasing for fucking ages, like
it's
Finn
happening.
and Dominik,
spoilers,
like getting in each other's faces. Yeah, and like the next match, it's probably going to happen.
It's going to happen.
So yeah, I definitely feel like Liv and Raquel should just retain.
Chance retain, 100%. This is no question for me. This is like, because Liv and Raquel have been really entertaining together. Again, I think a lot of people have said it. Liv Morgan is like one of the underappreciated, like one of the greatest underappreciated members of the roster right now. She's so annoying and it's great. Like, she's just so obnoxious but she's simultaneously like she gets her character. She like completely, and she's good in the ring. She's improved so much. I remember watching her way back when, like in my last, it was around 2017, 2018, 2019 when I was last really into wrestling. I don't remember her being nearly this good. She was like in the Riot Squad or whatever, which was ass. But she's improved. Like I remember, like it wasn't a great match, but that match what she had with like Nia Jax and her matches with Rhea Ripley even have been good. So I think she's just one of the underappreciated members of the roster right now. And her like fucking that soap opera ass garbage with like the Dominik, like her, like the Dominik Mysterio turning on Rhea Ripley shit. My God, that's drama. That is drama right there.
That is drama. Yep.
Yeah, and Lyra doesn't need to be a double champ. And I think they should, like, Lyra and Bayley had a great match on Raw this past Monday. I think they should have just done that instead. They should have just done that match at WrestleMania and put the IC champion on the championship on the card. But whatever. Like, they had the gauntlet match that just happened was good because it really got the fans on board with them. There's nothing quite like it's happened a gazillion times, right? We saw it with Kofi Mania. Seth Rollins did it, I think, also like the same year.
Yeah, I remember
gauntlet
that.
matches. Like that's an easy way to like get the crowd on board with your baby faces. And I think they did a great job. And Bayley and Lyra are both fantastic wrestlers as well. So I think this is going to be kind of a dark horse for one of the great matches on the card. But yeah, champs retain. And I hope something happens so that we get more Lyra and Bayley matches, Lyra versus Bayley matches with the IC title on the line down the road. Because that's what needs to happen.
Absolutely. And like, if anyone deserves to have that, I guess you could call it Triple Crown sort of deal. Like, if anyone deserves to actually like keep her title, like keep her history making going, like Bayley. She is like fantastic. She's in her own one of a kind. She could easily like be the next Intercontinental Women's Champion, and like it wouldn't be out of place. Like it feels like that could work. So yeah, no, complete agreement. All right, we have a fatal four-way match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. We have the defending champion, Bron Breakker, versus Penta, versus Finn Balor, versus Dominik Mysterio. I think, you're probably going to see the Judgment Day bullshit happen here.
Yes.
We're going to see Liv and Raquel retain, and then they're going to be like, yeah, one of you two need to bring that title home, boys.
Yeah, and you know what it's going to be?
Penta.
No, it's going to be Big Dom, obviously.
Okay. Oh, you think Dom's going to win?
Oh, God, yeah. I think that's what they're setting up here. Because the Judgment Day split, right? Well, this wasn't my opinion. I heard this, but I was sold on it. It feels like what they're setting up is Liv and Raquel. Like the split is going to be between like Dominik, Liv, and Raquel on one side, and then Finn Balor, JD McDonough whenever he fucking recovers from dying, and Carlito or whatever on the other side.
Yeah.
So I think what they want coming out the other side of Mania is Liv and Raquel and Dominik Mysterio with the belts. I think that's what they want.
Okay.
Now, I could see either one winning. And it does feel a little bit early for Penta, but he is very, very over, so he could do it. Honestly, any of these four could win, and I wouldn't be unhappy about it. So, because Bron Breakker, like, again, Bron Breakker is another guy absolutely destined for main eventness down the line.
Yeah.
He is unbelievable. And he, like, just because, like, people have salivated. I've seen people, like, salivating over this idea. Bron Breakker versus Jacob Fatu is, oh my God.
Hoy.
Imagine that. My God. So, like, after they both have more experience under their belts and they're these absolutely cracked out monsters, yeah, that's going to be insane. But
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do think it's a little bit early for Penta, but at the same time, that would be a great moment for him. But I do think he's there to be like sort of more of a spectacle, I guess, because he's not eating the pin. 100% he's not eating the pin here. I think it makes the most sense for Dominik Mysterio to pin Finn Balor off of taking advantage of maybe a spear from Braun Breaker or whatever.
I literally just thought of a really stupid ending scenario of like Penta hits his Canadian Destroyer and like into a spear from Braun. Yep. And then Dom is somehow able to clear both of them out of the ring, pin Finn, and win.
Yes.
Whilst I could see that, I feel like you don't need the title in there. Whereas, like, now I'm picturing, like, Dom with the IC title, Liv and Raquel with the women's tag team titles, and they're like, yeah, we're the fucking boss shit. Like,
yeah,
that is almost like harkening back to when Judgment Day had all the titles at one point.
Well, and part of it, I think, is one needs to pin the other to send probably Finn over the edge, right? Because he's been holding it together, no matter how weird or whatever Dominik's been being. They've been trying to hold it together, but I think if one of them pins the other, I think it makes the most sense to pin Finn Balor, to send him over the edge and make him super pissed off, so they officially split.
See, I can see all that happening, but my thought was actually like, I don't think Finn is getting anywhere as a heel, and I think the group of just him, JD, and Carlito is odd. My thought going into this was, I think, like, Dominik betrays Finn, and then, like, he's like, yeah, I'm the shit. And then Finn Balor, like, hits him with a coup de grace or something, gets thrown out, and then Penta pins Dominik. I think, Penta pins Dominik, and then Finn, after this, turns face because he's finally like, nah, fuck the Judgment Day. Like, fuck you guys. You're the ones keeping me back. Because I don't think he isn't getting anywhere as a heel. Like, he's having good matches on TV, but I think the Judgment Day is kind of past its day in the sun. I think it just needs to be Dominik's casino with blackjack and hookers, and he's just got fucking Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and it's just like them two and Dominik's the Santino to fucking Beth Phoenix. He just helps them hold on to their titles. You don't need Carlito and Finn doing that shit anymore. Carlito can go fuck off, do something else, do whatever.
No, I didn't think Carlito was actually going to be part of it, because if Finn stays heel, he would just be like, fuck you, Carlito. Like, Carlito would be like, no, Finn, it's okay, man. And Finn Balor would be like, fuck you.
Finn, I am cool, Finn. No,
fuck you,
Carlito. You're racist.
Yeah, you're right that Finn Balor's stagnating as a heel, but I also think if they turn him face, there'd be no interest in it. Like, people, I think at this point, people just don't care much about Finn Balor. And if people don't care, the best way to make them care is to make them angry, which would mean keeping Finn Balor as a heel.
It's so similar to Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, the people stopped caring about Finn. They sent him back to NXT and he won the NXT title, and people gave a fuck about Finn Balor again. And then I don't know. It's so similar to Shinsuke. People have just gotten to the point of like, who cares? I want to care because they're both great, but I don't think there's a point in keeping him a heel, especially if the group's going to break up. I don't think he's got much in there.
Yeah, Dominik's definitely better as a heel. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, 100. 100.
But the only problem is he's been getting cheered, which is why there's a bit of a gap there. Because I don't think Dominik as a heel is such gold. Like, him being the fucking shit-eating heel like Eddie Guerrero once was, there's money there. But yeah, like, honestly, like, I think Dominik would be my official prediction. I would just love to see Braun Breaker retain. Like, honestly, just spear somebody.
Honestly,
just fucking spear everybody and just win. Who cares?
Yeah. So yeah, but, my prediction will be Penta, but I can see it going your way as well. I can see that happening, or just Braun. The only person that like has no chance of winning is Finn.
Right.
So imagine if they give it to Finn.
They could.
That'd be kind of.
I mean, this is another one that could go anyway. I think. Arena really could, but yeah, I just don't like. I just think they need to change. Obviously, something's got to change with Finn Balor, and I think he needs to be pinned for that thing to change. Like, they need to give him more grit, more anger, something about his heel character, or something, like anything. Just give him more of a reason to be angry and make him win matches. The end.
Okay. All right, so I think that's the first one we actually have differing points for. That's interesting. All right, we have the Sin City Street Fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. So they just announced this as being a street fight because like they've been building up them attacking each other and fucking like throwing each other through glass car doors and shit. And then they fucking Drew McIntyre hit the Future Shock DDT on Damian on the steps. SmackDown. He took off his eye patch. He said, "Arr, I'm not a pirate anymore." And they made it a street fight. Because they always need to have that themed match. We had the Philadelphia Street Fight last year. We got the Sin City Street Fight this year.
Drew.
They really, really are putting a lot of stock into this, even though it feels like it's out of nowhere. Like it just feels like it's a little bit out of nowhere.
I don't think so, because they have a ton of history. They gave us a history lesson where like Damian Priest capitalized on CM Punk killing Drew McIntyre last year at WrestleMania. When Drew McIntyre failed his cash-in attempt, Damian Priest was still the champion. They've got a lot of history.
Yeah,
I'm totally all about it.
I can see that, and this can also technically be seen as a rematch from last year for the 4-second match. So you know what, I do get that. I do get that. And then like everything that's happened recently as well, like in the Rumble and whatnot.
And I think just because it is just a kind of a regular singles match, or yes, a street fight at this point, they are both very, very good. And don't forget, Drew McIntyre had a crazy fucking Hell in a Cell classic not many months ago. So he's very good in these kinds of no DQ extreme environments. And Damian Priest, he's improved so much. Like, he's really cemented himself as a good babyface. But Drew's winning. The end. Drew, like, and the way I look at this one is I sort of see who, like, to me, there's just like a very, very slight difference in how close to the main event scene they are. Like, how strong of players, and Drew McIntyre is just a tiny bit higher. Plus, I think he has more value overall as a heel going forward. So just make, especially because Drew lost to Punk in that Hell in a Cell match, so clean, like in a very statement match there. Drew needs a big win, and I think Damian Priest won't be hurt that bad, especially because there's plenty of ways to make Damian look strong coming out of a loss in a street fight. So I think it's Drew. Like, I think he needs the big win for one, and he has more value going forward as a heel if he just wins. So that's my thought.
And I feel like either man, like neither of them will be damaged by a loss here. No. I think because, in a way, both of them won last year. Both of them have done massive things. So I think, it's fine for either of them to win. But I completely agree. Drew McIntyre is just slightly higher on the totem pole. Yes. And, I feel like him winning, like a massive match
another
like
thing
this.
is, I actually think they'll pivot from this win for Drew McIntyre into a program with Cody. I think that's what they'll do.
Yep. Okay. No, I can see that. Yeah. All right. Drew McIntyre, I think that's a good shout. I also think Damian could be a good contender versus Big Match John, but I think there's a lot more matches they want to get to before that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, the main event of night 2. Singles match for the undisputed WWE Championship.
I ain't calling
Cody
it undisputed.
Rhodes.
It's a WWE Championship. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Not putting words
it's what's written here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes defending the title against John Cena.
What do we get? What do we get? You get nothing!
You lose. Now,
John.
Cody's had a good year. Cody has had a good year.
John.
A full year with the championship.
John.
And I think John Cena needs to be the guy.
It's John.
It's his final year.
He needs to fuck all of your. You can't turn John Cena heel and then have him lose. The end.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, well, even if like it needs to be with shenanigans, which would be fine. Like if The Rock does something to fuck Cody, that would be hilarious. Like The Rock 2 years in a row has fucked Cody.
Yep.
Like that would be hilarious. I'm fine with that. See, you know what I was just thinking? Like The Rock fucks Cody, and then Roman Reigns as a face can fucking fight The Rock. You know what? Keep The Rock heel. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Do that. Then that's fine. But yeah, you can't turn John Cena heel in his last year and not have him beat Ric Flair's record. Beat Ric Flair's record because he's old and no one cares. And like people are going to care again when Charlotte gets up there. Like they're going to bring it up again. It's like, all right, whatever. Fuck you. But yeah, have John Cena cement himself as the motherfucker that we all know he is. He can finally I want to see that dynamic. Yes, I want to see that dynamic of like a lot of his old rivals coming to try and fight him, except they're all the faces now, and he's the fucking heel. Like, whereas like we've seen Punk and Cena, we've seen Randy and Cena, we've seen AJ and Cena, but motherfucker, him as the heel is a fresh coat of paint on all of those matches. So have him be the champ, have him be the heel, the top cunt.
Yes.
Like wrestle once a month at a pay-per-view. He doesn't have like
that's all we pretty much assumed we were gonna get anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like after April, like we got May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. We have 8 months, maybe some double pay-per-views. Like if there's a fucking Saudi show, like in the middle of that, and they have another pay-per-view 2 weeks later. I don't know. Sometimes they do that. So like we have fucking barely 10 matches, not even that, like of John Cena potentially left.
Yep.
Fucking just give it to him. Let him do it. And it could even end with Cody getting it back. I don't know. Like maybe not, because Cody had this whole redemption story of like losing to Roman the first time and then coming back a year later to beat him a second time. Do you really want to do that again? I don't know. Will Cody be too much by then? I don't know. But yeah, I feel like it has to be Cena.
Yeah, it's John. It's John, no question. Like I said, you can't do a John Cena heel turn after 22 years of him being a babyface and then have him not win. It's obvious. Like they would not put, and even beyond that, they would not put him in a world title match with the 17th title reign on the line if they weren't going to have him break it. Like you can't just tantalize us with that and then have him not break the record. He has to break the record. So, especially if he does it as a heel, it's even better. Because, like looking back on that a few years down the line, it's like, oh my god, he won 16 world titles as a babyface, and then he won the last one as a heel by doing weird shenanigans and fought Cody Rhodes. And honestly, even before John Cena turned heel, I wanted this match more than anything. Like, even a babyface versus babyface dynamic would have been completely fine with me, and I would have been so hyped for it. Cause even it would have worked so well as a passing of the torch. John Cena could go out on his last WrestleMania, passing the torch to the next like perennial babyface. It would have worked so well. But this as a heel is almost like, you know, I would have wanted him to break the record anyway. But now that he's a heel, he has to break the record at WrestleMania. It's going to be huge. And I think there's a inbuilt redemption arc for John Cena as well down the line. So, like, I think he needs to have more matches as a heel. Absolutely. He needs to defend the title as a heel, 100%. And there's plenty of people you could do that with that he would have great matches against. But I think there's, like, an inbuilt redemption arc where, like, and I think since the big problem with this is I love the idea of the passing of the torch. And now that John Cena is a heel, I do think his last match will be against Cody. Because Cody is not, like, if Cody was going to run out of time as a babyface, it would have already happened. But he has gone for 3 straight years, never once diminishing in popularity as a babyface. Everybody loves that guy. Like, there's never been any sign of him being booed by literally anybody. Everywhere around the world, everyone loves Cody Rhodes, even though his gimmick is America and everybody hates America. That shows you how good Cody is as a babyface. He does, like, even though his gimmick is American Nightmare, people fucking love Cody. Like, he is absolutely the guy, the perennial babyface of this generation. Like, I don't think there's a single better babyface in all of wrestling. He is so good because he's not just cookie cutter garbage. He does have fire. He does say fuck you to The Rock. You know, like, he's fantastic. He's like, there's no way they're going to get rid of him as a babyface. And since he is probably and should take the L to Cena here, I think John Cena should sort of have a redemption arc. Whether or not he gets the title taken off him before, I don't think John Cena's last match needs the title. And Cody getting it back so soon is probably not the best thing ever. Because I think like John Cena should take a loss to Punk. For example, I think that Punk taking the title from Cena for like one more title reign would be great. But then, like, upon him losing the title, John can sort of realize how, like, that all those missteps or whatever. There's definitely a way you can go about that, and then have a babyface versus babyface passing the torch as his last match, where he can go out on his back. I think that's the way to go about it, but that's just me. Either way, John Cena's winning, and I do want to see like CM Punk, Randy Orton, AJ Styles would be great, but not necessary. Gunther is another one I really want. He'll have some. I want him to have some cool matches going forward.
I think it'd be funny if he fought Rey Mysterio and Rey would be like, you know how you beat me for that, like, the WWE title the one day I had it, and Cena's just like, yeah, no, that was on purpose. Fuck you.
Well, yeah, obviously. Like, that's exactly how we can look back on it now.
Yeah, no, because he literally said, I bury mediocrity. And I was like, yeah, fuck you. I want to beat the shit out of you. Yeah, like, I hope maybe he has
the part of it, there's no way John Cena retires as a heel. There's just no way his last match is going to be as a heel. Like, everybody's going to love him. They could do a lot. Like, they could also do the whole, like, near the end of, because the whole thing with his run is, like, he's ending in December. Like he said, like, 2025, end of the year, that's when I'm done. So they could easily do something towards the end of it, like November or whatever, bring The Rock back in, and then just be like, have the whole thing of, like, Cena being like, oh, wait, maybe The Rock just manipulated me. And have the face turn be against, like, attitude adjustment, The Rock, or something at some point. And he could retire as a face again, like, because people are going to love him regardless. I don't think it's appropriate for him after all this time to fuck off as a heel, and then, like, next year he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, he still hates everyone. Like, it'd just be weird. So yeah, he would have to end it off as a face. But yeah, no, I agree with a lot of that. I'm very excited to see how it plays out. He needs to be present. He can't have, like,
3 matches as the fucking bad guy. He needs to go for a bit of a run.
I don't care what excuse they make to bring him back, even though he said he's going to retire with the belt. I don't care what excuse they make. Just bring him back. It doesn't matter. Just let him, just make him come to shows, pay him whatever his asking rate is. I don't care. Just let him show up at the shows. Let him wrestle. It's his last year. Probably. Just give us the matches we want. We deserve that.
I hope he's fulfilled his acting obligations by now, so we can do it. I hope he's done it, but we'll see. Okay, I think that's pretty definitive. Very quick. The TLDR. We think Tiff's beating Charlotte for the title. We think Jay's beating Gunther for the title. We think Naomi is going over Jade. We think New Day is going over War Raiders for the titles. We think Jacob's going over LA Knight. We think El Grande Americano is defeating Ray. And we think most likely Punk is going to go over in the triple threat. Mm-hmm. Then we think Randy's either going to get amongst it with Aldis or Aleister Black. And depending on which one he faces, he'll either win or lose that. Hoping that EO retains in the triple threat. AJ beats Logan. Judgment Day retain against Bayley and Lyra. And the one we're mostly got contention of, either Penta or Dominik for the Fatal 4-Way. I think Penta, you think Dominik. Drew McIntyre defeats Priest, and Cena defeats Rhodes. I think this is going to be a fucking good 2 nights.
Yes, it is.
I'm very, very hyped for it. Obviously, this is being recorded before the last Monday Night Raw and SmackDown before Mania, so some stuff could change. So sorry about that if we're slightly inaccurate. But this should definitely be way more definitive thanks to the fact they announced all this ahead of time. Incredible. Amazing. What are your predictions for the shows? Let us know in the comments. WWE is so fucking hot right now, man. It's amazing. As much as it sucks for a lot of foreign countries that they go to, their ticket prices are apparently fucked. And I remember looking at the ticket prices when they came to Australia the other year, they were indeed fucked. Despite all that, how lucrative and how big and how impressive WWE has been is it's amazing to see. It's such a big jump from years ago. I still remember years ago when I made that video trashing WWE, after the COVID thing when they dumped a whole heap of people and released them from their contracts and stuff, and everything to do with Vince and a whole heap of shit. They have managed to come through so much shit and excel. And I think even now, there's the thing where a couple people do get released, with Baron Corbin and some others have get released at some point, which does suck. But I feel despite all that, they could not look better as a company. They've done so much to improve everything, and the fact that they've even brought someone like CM Punk back with such a notorious history of despising the company and hating the way they operate, and him and many others being able to go on other podcasts and just openly say things are way better they are now than they were years ago, and actually seeing some behind the scenes stuff to prove that. It is a tremendous scene for WWE. It's amazing to see, and I'm really happy that the product is just it's good once again. You sometimes have bad weeks of Raw or SmackDown where it feels like a bit of filler, but you got to get that no matter what. That's just part of TV. It's just something that happens. So WWE being good again, and especially at a time when during that time when I didn't like WWE, I was a big fan of AEW, and seeing how much AEW has fallen is really unfortunate. And I think maybe that is because I was there mostly for Cody. I don't know. A lot of the other stuff they were doing was great, but I've been a Cody fan since I was a kid, and just seeing how far someone like that can come and go is incredible. So I am once again happy to say I'm a fan of WWE, and I'm glad they're able to do amazing shit like they are. It's good.
Yeah, I've seen one episode ever of AEW Dynamite, and every time I hear something about AEW these days, it's about the Death Riders, and I want no part of it. So,
no.
Well, or maybe sometimes about Kenny Omega, but you balance out the good with the bad. But yeah, so that's all from us. I'm not watching another episode of AEW Dynamite, but that's just me. You can do whatever you want. Let us, like Trent said, let us know your predictions for WrestleMania 41 in the comments, and I don't know. I think that's it.
By the way, if anyone actually is listening to this, because like a lot of our episodes, some of them do good, some of them don't. If you like this and want to hear more thoughts of us chatting about WWE and wrestling in general, let us know.
We'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know. We're involved. We're engaged. I'm a lot more into wrestling nowadays. Like, I had my fucking first match in February. I'm doing commentary for different companies. I'm getting more amongst it just myself, and like I'm enjoying it. There are obviously parts I don't enjoy it, and I'm trying to just work through it. That's just part of life. That's not just wrestling, but like wrestling has never been as hot. Like, well, arguably it was hotter last year, but still, it's still incredibly hot. Maybe like a degree lower, but it's still fucking scorching. Mm-hmm. So yeah, let us know if you want us to chat more shit about wrestling. We'll do it. We fucking love this shit.
As for me, I'm only watching wrestling more. I'm not actually doing anything else.
You've made some entrance themes. That's your.
Oh yeah, right. I did do that.
Yes, you contributing. You've made 3 so far.
I did that. I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway.
And what one of them's retired because the stable broke up.
Rest in peace.
That's sad. Rest in peace, the firm.
Rest in peace, the firm.
Rest in peace.
That's the only one I actually had a first draft on that got scrapped. Yeah, I made yep. It's like a completely different song. I made like I just like wrote in it basically an entire song worth of an entrance theme, and they were like, no, try again. I was like, all right. So now they're both scrapped. Got that.
Yep, that's sad.
Oh well.
I still use mine. Riley still uses hers for however much longer she intends to wrestle. Yeah, and you hopefully will be making more in the future once timelines align.
Yeah, and once I'm not super fucking busy.
Yes, exactly. All right, I think that's all.
Yep.
Yes, let us know, peoples. Cena wins, lol.
If Cena loses, we riot.
Wow, no one's ever made that sign before, but it's gonna be there.